Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to do a quick video here. This is a part of the video of the vinyl challenge. One of the things I said I was going to do in the vinyl challenge is do request stuff. Again, about whether it's artists in my collection, just stuff in my music room in general, or just any questions that you guys had about anything. Again, the vinyl challenge is about reflecting and going back into your collection and so forth. So I thought it could be cool to do it beyond even just listening to the music, but just actually, digging back into the way my collection is set up and everything else. So I'm still taking requests for that. So if anyone has anything, make sure you shoot me a comment down below. But I'm going to knock the first three off the list here. And I'm just going to kind of go straight down the list the way they kind of came in. I wrote them down here. So I try to do about 2 to 3 each video, because it can take a little bit of time to do them, just in terms of pulling things out. And it's kind of funny because I was actually had this conversation with a few people over the past few weeks or whatever. Some people that have been kind of reorganizing their collection in terms of separating stuff out into genres and stuff like that. And I know there's kind of two schools of thought with that. There's some of you out there that are, very much into separating into genres like I do, and there's some of you that don't believe in genres. It's almost cliche now, where I know the saying is kind of like, there's only one kind of music that's good music. I've heard a bunch of people say that, so there's kind of that group that feels that way, who I guess typically just does everything A through Z, and then there's weirdos like me that separate stuff out into different genres. So the reason I'm even going through all of that is because, on some of my artists, I don't even necessarily keep all of my artists together. So I may have an artist that really crosses over decades, what's a good one? Bruce Springsteen would be a good example. So if you come browse through my collection, you'll find some Bruce Springsteen in my 70s section. You'll find some Bruce Springsteen in my 80s section. You'll find some Bruce Springsteen in my 90s section. I don't necessarily keep all of Bruce together. So, and again, some people think that's weird, whatever the case may be, but I'm just one that firmly believes in putting artists not where necessarily the world says they should be, but where I think they should be. Because when you get down to it, that's really what it's about. That is what it's all about. Is when I think about an artist, I want to listen to it, go find it. Where do I go to look at it? So I'm going to put it wherever I would go to look for it. So there's just some Bruce Springsteen. When I think about, I don't know, Human Touch, Born in the USA, all of that stuff rings 80s to me. Even some stuff that may cross over into the 90s, I might still put it in the 80s if it rings 80s to me when I listen to it. So anyway, I just kind of went through that little thing because, number one, I've been talking with a few people about that lately, and I just kind of really noticed it when I was going through pulling out some of the stuff that I was going to show for this particular video. But this time, the first three on the list were Adam Lee, Laura, and Andrew, Lovell Andrew. Those were the first three that I had written down that made requests. So I'm going to go through and do their 3 requests. And I'll do it the way that I have them stacked up here. That'll be easiest. So Laura was the third person to make a request, but the stuff she asked about is sitting on top. And probably the one I don't have as much to show, but based on the groups that she mentioned, I pulled out what I did have. So she asked about my bread collection. We'll start off with the vinyl here, because I don't really have much. I just have this right here, which is The Best of Bread. Favorite song by them without question is Guitar Man. Love that to death. So that's The Best of Bread Volume 2. I'll set this over here. And then we have Bread Anthology on CD. Alright. And on cassette, we have The Best of Bread Volume 2, which is the album you just saw there. Then you have Bread Guitar Man. And then this one here is just another Best of Bread. So I don't have a huge bread collection. That's about it right there. And then these other artists as well. This is basically what I have of them. Although I think I might have one out of place because I know I have more than one by this artist. And actually, I think it's in my in rotation stack now that I think about it. But you asked about my Bon Iver collection. This is the one I have to show here. Again, it just hit me where the other one was. But I'm sure you're very familiar with that one. I'm not a huge fan of his, but you know, this is definitely probably my favorite album by him. Yeah, I mean, I won't get into too much detail about it because again, I'm not a huge fan, but this is a pretty darn good album. You also asked about what I have as far as war paint goes, and the only war paint I have is The Fool. Another really good album though. And then you asked about my M83 collection, and the only M83 that I have is this one right here, which is the 2 LP set of Saturday Equals You, which of course has my absolute favorite song by them. I'm sure you know which that one is, which is, you know, Kim and Jesse. Love that song very, very much. But that's what I have as far as those artists go. So again, that 90s, especially that Bon Iver type stuff, that's not a genre that I've gotten deep into, so I don't have a ton of that stuff, but you know, just like everything else musically, it's growing on me and I'm picking up, you know, more here and there as I discover new artists. Kind of like I was playing in the background here. Didn't mention that, I'm sorry. Just Julian Plenty. Not a bad little record there. But just the volume there. Alright, so say Laura, not a lot, but that's what I have to show based on the artist that you asked me about. Let's see. Next, who's on top? That's Cream. So we'll go ahead and go with Lovell, Andrew. He asked me about my Clapton and Cream collection. So let me kind of go through and share that with you. Alright, so first here we have Clapton from 2010. I actually won this in a contest, which is really kind of nice. I don't know if I'd have paid this much for it, but I got it for free, so it's pretty good. Pretty nice 2 LP set. Not my favorite stuff by him, but you know, still a decent album. This is definitely one of my favorite Clapton albums, which is Pilgrim. Love this album, love this album. Very, very good stuff on here. Good mixture of some of his slower, heartfelt stuff. Not so bluesy. You know, Clapton is a great blues player, but I don't enjoy listening to Clapton blues as much. I don't know, but anyway, songs like, you know, My Father's Eyes, River of Tears, Pilgrim, One Chance. I mean, there's just a lot of great music on here. Another one of those albums where between the music and looking at the cover kind of gives me a sick feeling in my stomach. I don't know why, but that cover always just makes my stomach twirl. Even just like now when I was looking at it in the camera there, my stomach just starts to twirl for some reason. Clapton in the 80s, which is August. Which again, not a bad Clapton album. Of course, it has a song that's In the Way That You Use It, which I think is a Clapton jam. I absolutely love it. What else is on here? It's probably the best song, I think, on this album, and definitely one that I like a lot. So, and Clapton, Behind the Sun, another very good piece. Clapton, 461 Ocean Boulevard. So you guys know that one. We got more Clapton here. Sorry, trying to make sure I hold it right. That's from 1977. Timepieces, which of course has, you know, a lot of the hits. I Shot the Sheriff, After Midnight, Knocking on Heaven's Door, Wonderful Tonight, Layla. Arguably one of the best sides in all of music. Side 2, Cocaine, Lay Down Sally, Willie and the Jive, Promises, Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. But I mean, I Shot the Sheriff, After Midnight, Knocking on Heaven's Door, Wonderful Tonight, and Layla, all on one side of music. That's Pretty darn nice. That's a classic album right there. Then of course you got the Blind Faith years, Clapton and Winwood and all the guys. And then of course the original cover. Very cool. And then going back into the Cream years, you got Heavy Cream. Nice little 2 LP set, just has all their hits and everything on there. As well as the Best of Cream. You know, White Room, Sunshine of Your Love, all the typical Cream hits. And you got DG, that's what I always call this album. I think one of the coolest covers ever. Very cool stuff there. And then Cream's Wheel of Fire. So that is all of the Clapton stuff that I have on vinyl. And then CD-wise, I must have forgot to pull this out. I think I have this on vinyl too. Clapton Slow Hand, Clapton Unplugged, which of course has the version of Layla that I love so much, and Pilgrim. And then as far as Clapton cassettes, got the Blind Faith again, Clapton Journeyman, Cream of Clapton, which I think I have on CD too. I miss pulling out a lot of stuff. I apologize. Timepieces on cassette, Slow Hands on cassette, and the Best of Cream. Alright. So, Andrew, there you go. That's what I have as far as Clapton goes. And then last but not least, Mr. Adam Lee asked about my Jermaine Stewart. And of course, I knew he was going to be asked for anything. He's going to ask about my Madonna collection. I think Madonna to him is like Coltrane to me. So let me go through and kind of share that with you. Again, I don't have a ton of Jermaine Stewart albums, but this is The Word Is Out, which is actually the first song that I ever really liked or heard of by Jermaine Stewart. Way back in the 80s, again, we used to get that regular rotation on BET. You know, Mr. Pretty Boy himself. And for those of you who are fans of Culture Club, he used to kind of sing and do some backup stuff with Culture Club. That one real high-pitched voice that sings background on Miss Me Blind with Boy George, that's Jermaine Stewart. So, but yeah, songs like The Word Is Out, that's probably the best track off of this one. So, great 80s stuff. Here's a 12-inch single for The Word Is Out. So, and then the album that most people tend to know, whether they actually know it or not, this is Frantic Romantic. And this is the one that probably had its biggest hits, which is We Don't Have to Take Our Clothes Off. You know, that was a big 80s smash hit back in the day. And every time I think about that, and pull this album out, I always think about the irony of it, because his biggest hit was We Don't Have to Take Our Clothes Off, and he ended up dying of AIDS, which was kind of sad, but you know, but that's Jermaine, my boy from the 80s, love him to death. So now going into my Madonna collection. Get this set here. Alright. And actually I do have some Jermaine Stewart cassettes, and I didn't pull those out either. Again, sorry man, I just started pulling stuff left and right, and things slipped my mind. But I'll move into the Madonna, because I think it's probably what you want to see the most anyway. So here we go. I'll move these over here. So of course here you have Madonna. This is, you know, what had Lucky Star, Borderline, Holiday. Not a bad way to start off a career there. And then 12-inch single here, Borderline and a Lucky Star. And Like a Virgin. of course, I guess this flips this way. Everyone knows this album. Like a Virgin, Material Girl, all that stuff just made her an absolute superstar. One of my favorite tracks by her, I think it gets lost a lot in the mix of, Madonna material, is Dress You Up. This is a 12-inch single. This is one of my favorite songs by her early on. And then, of course, you have True Blue. With, Papa Don't Preach, Open Your Heart, Live to Tell, True Blue, La Isla Bonita. I mean, she had a lot of back-to-back hits on a lot of these records. Live to Tell, 12-inch. And then here you have You Can Dance. Then you have Like a Prayer, which of course has Express Yourself, Like a Prayer, Cherish. Again, just hit after hit. And then here, Express Yourself, 12-inch single. Vogue, 12-inch. And I think hands down one of the best pieces in the Madonna catalog period, which is Immaculate Collection. Every single hit you could pretty much want right there, not to mention the awesome remix of Like a Prayer, which arguably is probably my favorite Madonna song of all time, is the remix version of Like a Prayer on this album. I'm sorry, let me start this back over. Alright, then next, we have Frozen, 12-inch single. Music, another good track. And last but not least, this is also one I won in a contest. So got that for free. Hard Candy. It's another very cool one. When I say won in a contest, I don't know, maybe share this with people that weren't in the VC back when this happened, but there was this website called Because Sound Matters, I think is what it's, yeah, Because Sound Matters, and I thought it was kind of a joke at first, but they were running this contest where it was Best Music Room contest, where they were saying just take pictures of your music room and send it in, and so I just did it and did not think anything about it, and then I get this email, and I'm all suspicious about it, because people start emailing you saying, hey, we want your address, you won, and I'm like, right, like, this is the internet, pal, sorry. So what I ended up doing actually was getting on the website and contacting the company myself, and they were like, yeah, and then I also asked Dan up in Canada, who used to be a big part of the VC, he was like, oh yeah, I buy stuff from them all the time, they're totally legit, I entered the contest too. I was like, oh, okay, so I got back in touch with them, they sent me a whole bunch of records because I won a Best Music Room, and so that Clapton and this Madonna, what else was there? Oh, I got a copy of Neil Young's, what's the newest one that I'm going brain dead, but I got some Metallica stuff. They sent me a bunch of great stuff, so you can actually go back and see my video from a few years ago, 2 or 3 years ago that happened. But anyway, it just made me think about that contest. Let me go into Madonna CDs. Something to Remember. Really, really good stuff. Which, of course, this has a song, we'll see, I Remember is on here for sure, but Rain, love that song. So simple, yet just so, elegant, passionate, just kind of all that, so much energy and heartfelt into something so simple, which is always something that really captures me. And so Rain is a great track off of that. Erotica. So yeah, that one. Bedtime Stories. It's really easy to pick up a lot of Madonna. There's so much of it out there. Immaculate Collection, of course. And for those of you who haven't seen the video before, the reason this is all busted up and cracked like that, this is the first CD I ever owned. So I kept the original case and everything, so not swapping any of that out. Like a Prayer on CD. I'll Remember single. Ray of Light. And Music. So that's my Madonna CDs. And last but not least, hope you're getting your fill, Adam. Got a sealed copy of Bedtime Stories on cassette. I think I just said CDs, but on cassette. Sealed copy there. Erotica on cassette. You Can Dance. True Blue. Like a Virgin. And Madonna. Alright. Jeez, Adam. Madonna took up half the video. But, so there you go. Those are the first three. Hope you guys enjoyed that. At least what I was able to show and did have. As always, thanks for watching, VC. And yeah, please, send over some more requests. I would like to do a few more of these before the final challenge kind of wraps up. Alright, so we'll talk to you later, VC. Take care, guys.